Hi everybody and welcome to Jewel Family Farm. I'm going to be out in the garden today getting some beds ready. I would like to at least get some peas in today and maybe some beets. But the other beds I'm going to get ready because it's ready. It's time on the 17th of March. It's time to plant your potatoes, and so I want to get the beds ready for that. And I went and bought my potato seeds yesterday, and I got to cut them up and let them dry out for a day or two. And they were calling for rain for the next couple of days, so I want to get my beds ready so the potatoes will be ready to go in the ground as soon as the ground gets dry enough. All right, so I'm just going to leave this running and for a little while I'm working. I'm making a movie. Oh, you are? That's cool. Yeah. So anyway, I use this little rototiller. The reason that I have these beds the way that they are, um, they're raised beds, but um, I could get in there with the tiller and till them up. And the reason I like it like that was our soil was all clay and we couldn't grow anything. So to amend the soil, because it's so expensive to do, I did little sections at a time. You know, I did one bed or a couple of beds one year and then a couple of beds the next year. And so I just keep adding on to adding more beds and putting, here's my man Jake. He's a soccer player now. Football player to be coming in the next, I don't know, several years. But anyway, so for me, it's easier for me to make the beds and then fill the beds with compost and pine, any kind of shavings or let them all compost down. And I also use a lot of peat moss in there to keep it nice and fluffy. And I didn't put any sand in. Sand would help if you have really clay soil. But this is what works best for me because I can't work the big tillers anymore. Um, I'm just, I don't have the strength to do it anymore. So um, this little tiller works great for me, and these little beds work great for me. So I guess as you get older, it gets more difficult to make bigger gardens. So smaller gardens work for me best, at my age. So that's why I do it. All right, so that bed's pretty much tilled up good enough. I'm going to make some rows in there. And also, I didn't know if you noticed, but my screens that I put up, I'm going to plant peas in there. And of course, peas, they climb. So I did my fences so that the peas can grow up it, but I put in the little white um, posts that can be pulled out and put in very easily and just wrap some fence around it. And that way it stays in place. The fence stays in place for the peas to grow up, but I can also move them as I need to if I want to plant something else in that garden later on. So that's why I do that. So I'm going to make my rows now, and then I'm going to put the fences, I'm going to plant the peas and then put my fences back up. come up. And they start growing up, we'll come out and we'll plant some more, so that we'll keep having peas all summer, all spring. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, they'll regrow. You pick them and cook them, and I don't really save peas for canning or freezing. I just don't. It's just too much work for me. But I do like to have some nice peas in the spring with some potatoes, or just peas by themselves. They're so good. If you never had fresh peas before, you need to plant you a few, because they are delicious when they're fresh.
Well, yeah, they were. Last year I was like raising them. How good those things were.
Yeah.
There's a lot bigger difference from the ones you see in store at Walmart. Yeah, don't get me wrong, all these are good.
All right. Just cover them up with your hand. Just throw a little dirt up on them when you get done. Okay, so I'll show you what looks like closer up. Oh, here, you can put those back in there.
Yeah.
Now you got to cover them up and pat them down, don't forget.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. You did?
Yeah.
You covered them up? Down here too?
Oh.
You got to cover them up better than that. You got to put dirt on them like that.
Oh.
And then pat them. Go ahead and do all the rest of those up through there. Can't see. Oh, yeah. Pull some dirt from the other side too. A little bit. There you go. There you go. And just pat them down. That's great. Good job. Here, you do that and I'll pat the other side down.
Okay.
I'll cover the other side up, I should say. Here, I'll cover them up and you pat them down some. I'll pat this side down. You pat that side down. There you go. All right. Our peas are done. As soon as these start coming up, and they get up maybe about halfway up this fence, I'm going to plant some more. So I'm going to try to keep these peas going as long as I can this spring. All right. So that's how I do my beds. And so the peas are ready. Now I'm going to get ready to get my potato patches in order and get ready to plant potatoes on the 17th. All right, so I went out and I got some of my beds ready. So I want to get my potatoes cut up and get them ready. So what I'm going to do is I've got 10 pounds. I got two 5-pound bags of Kenny Beck seed potatoes, and I'm going to cut those up and get them ready to go in the ground. And after I cut them up, I'm going to put a little bit of lime on them, and that just helps them to scar up some so that they don't rot when you put them in the ground. And so what I'm going to do is, if you can see these little eyes on these potatoes, these are called the eyes. And when you cut them, you want at least 2 eyes per section. So I'm going to move this down here. So what I would do is try to cut them in a way that there's at least 2 eyes in each piece. Now some people just plant the whole potato, but we always planted it this way. So see, here's an eye, here's an eye, here's an eye, and there's a couple of eyes over here. So I'm just going to cut that about like that. And that's what you want to do. And then put them down in your whatever bucket or big bowl or whatever you have. And so here's some eyes on these. Now you can have more than 2 eyes. I'm just saying that, like this one here, I'm probably just going to cut in half. And I know that there's several eyes on each one. But that's how you do it. And a lot of people, I mean, this gives you more potatoes to plant, more seeds. And rather than just putting one whole potato in there, so you can cut this one up into at least 3 or 4, because it's just covered in little eyes all over the potato. Okay, so I'm just going to cut one off there. And let's see, probably cut one off, cut it up this way, because that's got 2 eyes on it, and that's got a couple of 2 or 3 eyes on it. Potatoes, the seed potatoes, I thought were kind of expensive this year. I got mine from a feed store, our county feed store. It wasn't like a Tractor Supply or anything like that, but I didn't order them offline, and I went and got them, and they were, I thought, were very high this year. So I was a little upset about that, but prices are rising, so what do you do? Trying to figure out which way I want to cut this potato. I think I'll cut it that way. That gave me a couple of eyes there. This one didn't have as many eyes on it, so I'll just leave that one whole. But that's what you do. I just wanted to show you that. And then when we get ready to go plant the potatoes, it'll be a day or so before I plant them. I got to put some lime on them and let them kind of dry up a little bit before I put them in the ground so they won't rot. And I'm going to cut that one that way. And then when I go to plant them in the garden, I will take you all with me and I'll show you how I plant potatoes. Alright? We've got quite a few. There's the kind you like to see. You want to see where the eyes are. Some of them you can't even see where the eyes are at.
My hands are clean.
Oh, good. Say hi.
Hello.
Get down there.
Hello.
What are you doing, Joey? You playing? What are you doing outside?
Playing with dirt and making it wet and making it soft.
Making it mud?
Yes.
Making a mud hole?
Yes.
That sounds like fun. Alright, go to it.
Hashtag go dirt.
Alright, so here's some potatoes that I had grown from last year. And at the end of the season, I just put some away for seed potatoes. But you can see these, I had them wrapped up in this, I laid them out over the winter, and then when I seen that they started to get their little sprouts, started to get some eyes on them, I wrapped them up in this newspaper and stuck them in the refrigerator because I didn't want them to sprout too early, and they started sprouting like first part of January. So when I seen that they started to do that, I put them in this bag, in this, in this newspaper, and wrapped them up and stuck them in the refrigerator so they wouldn't grow anymore. So I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to cut them like I did the others. Now if they're real tiny like that, I'm just going to leave them whole. Most of these are little bitty, little tiny potatoes. So I'll just leave them, most of them whole. Most of these I'll probably just put in the ground like that. Alright. That's okay. Okay, so I got a little bit of lime here, and I'm just going to sprinkle this lime on the potatoes. It's a little bit clumpy. Just kind of mix it up. It'll all dry up together, I guess. This just helps them not to spoil. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do with that. I'll try to do as many videos as I can, but like you can see, it's a busy time of year. So anyway, take care, and we'll see you on the next video. Tell them bye, Jake.
Bye, guys.
Count your blessings, and we'll see you later. Bye.